another week, boys, and another TWAB. Happy Tuesday, Guardians. This week in Destiny, we have a save the date, a mid-season preview with some Crucible information, the winner of our Witherhoard community votes, and more. Let's get started with what we talked about last week and then get into the new stuff. Last week, we had the Bungie Day information. We shared an important cutscene, mid-season weapon tuning preview, a final Iron Banner reminder, which is going on this week, new exotic fish pins, and Witherhoard Ornament voting. This week, we have the Bungie Day Giving Festival information, the mid-season preview, now with Crucible updates, the Witherhoard Ornament winner, the Season 21 exotic catalyst information, the Solstice Starts Next week, and Fishing Derby winners, player support report, Art of the Week and Movie of the Week winners, and showcase, save the date, and Hung Jury reminders. All right, so I guess Hung Jury might be moving out. All right, moving on to Bungie Day Giving Festival Prize Week plus last call for emblems. The Bungie Day Giving Festival enters week 2, and the Bungie Foundation has some exciting things in store. But first, we are making the last call on emblem submissions for the Bungie Day Giving Festival emblem competition. Submissions are due by 12 a.m. tonight, July the 13th. Full details on the contest can be seen here, and don't forget to tag your art with hashtag emblematic. Again, guys, for that contest, the community is literally making an emblem, all right? And then whatever the best one is, what's going to be chosen. Now, in the goodies, prize weeks kick off today, and the first item up for grabs is a signed Lightfall Collector's Edition. Any donation, minimum $1, received from 7:13 at 10 a.m. Pacific until 7:14 will receive an entry to win today's prize. Each day, we will have a new prize to earn, and you can see the full schedule below. So, signed Lightfall Collector's Edition on the first day, Destiny Plush Bundle. On 14th, Drifter Collectible Bundle, Lord Shack Statue. Whoa, I don't know how big that's going to be. Varric Statue, Witch Queen Statue, and the Sony PlayStation Game Code Bundle. Interesting. Don't forget that each day you enter, you will receive an additional entry into the grand prize drawing, meaning you can earn a maximum of 7 entries for the grand prize, a signed Lightfall Collector's Edition, a signed The Final Shape Collector's Edition, a copy of the Final Shape Deluxe Edition, and PlayStation Game Code Bundle. All right. Anyways, guys, this is everything doing with the you've probably seen some of the streams that are doing it right now. They pretty much got this entire charity event running, I want to say, for a good while. But for these specific items, if you want to get on that, we'll actually I'll have one of the editors throw in a list of streamers that are going to be doing some of these streams as well, okay? All right, mid-season Crucible update. It's not quite time for the mid-season update. That's coming 7/18. But today, we have 2 patch notes we managed to sneak away with. Fixed a few out-of-bounds spots in various maps. Whisper of Chains reduced damage reduction in PvP from 15% to 5%. Okay, I guess targeting more behemoths. Speaking of the Crucible, let's hear from the weapons team and see what we have coming up. Hi, Crucible fans. Following on from our Lightfall Crucible blog a few months ago, we have a few updates around Season 21 mid-season. Back when we launched Season the Deep, we made a couple of tuning changes to the Crucible that missed the patch notes. Many of you have called out the respawning changes. We have some additional changes coming soon, but the second change has gone mostly uncommented upon, so we wanted to let you know what has changed. So, respawning changes. I remember them mentioning this, specifically with the overshields. We made a number of adjustments to control and clash respawn logic. All Crucible respawn points are evaluated on a number of factors: proximity and sightline to enemy players, and owned objectives, as well as proximity to friendly players and owned objectives. Previously in Control and many other objective-based game modes, it's very strongly weighted friendly objectives good and enemy sightlines proximity bad. All right, so that's why you would spawn in with a sniper literally sniping you. With the goal of helping players get back into the action quicker on some of the larger maps and reduce the I usually spawn in the backfill, filling in clash style modes, we reduce the importance of friendly objectives and enemy sightlines, and increase the importance of friendly players. Ideally, players would spawn near other friendly players, but safely. In testing, this seems to work well on a variety of maps, but it's hard to replicate the chaos of real 6v6 matches, and as many players notice, we turn the influence of enemy players' sightlines down too far. This causes a number of problems that many players reported. You can often spawn in the middle of a firefight, and spawn trapping is easier on many maps. This also led to a sharp increase in the number of matches ending in a mercy. In the first hotfix after the mid-season patch coming next week, we're going to be increasing the influence of enemy players' sightlines and proximity back to where it was before. Ideally, we keep some of the benefits, like spawning nearer to active engagements, without the downside of spawning in the middle of a fight. We'll keep an eye on feedback and analytics over the coming weeks and continue to adjust as needed. All right, let me just say a couple things about this. First up, I love it when I kill an enemy off spawn. Something beautiful about it, you know? Their body is frozen. They're spawning in. You literally just snipe them. Or if you got your super, they're right there. It's fantastic. If you're trying to get a 7th column or a good kill spree, it's amazing, okay? So I actually really like that enemy spawn in front of us. But yes, this change, I mean, it's always been kind of a problem. The main thing is, guys, a lot of maps we have in the game were designed around 4v4. All right. When you add 6v6 to the mix, you're adding 2 extra players on either side. You're going to have this situation where it's just like certain maps, you're going to have so many players that are spread out that at some point you're going to have some conflict when it comes to like having spawns be balanced. Every now and then you will spawn in the middle of a firefight. Sucks. I get it. Does it lead to mercies? Sure. But that's really the issue there, is that these maps were originally designed for 4v4. The thing that gets me is not just that. What I don't like is like when you successfully push an enemy spawn and you're killing them and you're doing a really good job. And what should lead to a team wipe results in the team actually spawning up and getting an effective flank on you while you're in the midst of getting the team wipe. You know, at the end of the day, though, it is 6v6. It is supposed to be more chaotic. If you want a situation when you're actually like, all right, I'm going to play a game mode where this really actually would matter more, than obviously like comp and trials and whatnot. But trials is its own animal. But comp for sure is a lot more serious there. 6v6, though, not so much. But I will say it is annoying, though, whenever I like, the team and I, we effectively push, we get the kills. And then suddenly the people we just killed are getting like the best flank ever. And it's simply because Bungie gave them a spawn to allow them to do so. You know? All right. Competitive division matchmaking. The other major changes we implemented in the Season of the Deep was an adjustment to how we place players in competitive division matches. Previously, as discussed in the blog post here, we matched players purely based on their skill and then throttled the amount of division points won or lost based on how far above or below your skill is from your target skill. While pure skill-based matchmaking may produce the fairest matches for players, it also diminishes the experience of climbing the rank ladder. A player who only just completed their placement series shouldn't immediately face off against the highest or lowest ranked players, regardless of their skill. Thus, in Season 21, competitive 3v3 matchmaking rating MMR is calculated based on both rank and skill, with the goal being to improve the ladder climbing experience while maintaining competitive integrity and match fairness. So, if you're near your target skill, you will match at your rank rather than skill. We limit how far above or below your target skill you match, so if your skill marks you as an ascendant player, for example, you will never be considered below adept, no matter what your current rank is. The same goes for if you're above your target skill. You will never be considered more than one major rank above your target skill. A few changes we are considering for future seasons. Adjusting the rank. Skill limiting so that it doesn't limit at all if you're above your target skill. And number 2, loosening up the division points throttling we do if you are too far above or below your target skill. It's a strange system, you know. And I know, like, when defending this rank system, what comes up is that, hey, this is what other games do. This is what other competitive games do. That's normally the reply there. Now, what they're doing in this, or since Season 21, they've loosened the parameters to where it can essentially swap to either or. You will get an either or case here. This means that even if you're well below, say, Ascendant rank, and you're trying to rank up, you're not going to have to sit there and play Ascendant players literally every freaking game all the way to Ascendant, right? That's fatiguing. Despite it being quote unquote balance, it's fatiguing. It makes you want to just play for a little bit and then get the hell out, which is exactly what I normally end up doing. We had an entire video last season of us playing solo competitive, and guys, it was a miserable experience. Truly, it was a miserable experience. I feel like rank should play priority over everything else. And here's the other thing, like I say rank should play priority, but you do have people that, whether it's cheaters, whether it's account recoveries, rolling up through the comp playlist, maybe that's the way, like Bungie's like thinking of, like, especially like account recoveries. It picks up that skill level fairly quickly and it wants to throw them in games against higher ranked players quicker. There's a lot of different things here. Again, in a perfect world, in my opinion, it would just be rank versus rank. And you know, that's the system, because nothing sucks worse than being in a 3-4 game or literally being in the fight of your life. And we've played Rift games that have gone on, which felt like an eternity. You finally beat that opposing team. It's the sweatiest match you've ever played, and you get 5 rank in your comp. That sucks ass. Simultaneously, nothing sucks worse than losing to a squad right afterwards and losing like damn near 200. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And see, that +5 and that -200 is based on Bungie's internal MMR and internal target skill. It's weighting. Its weighting is you should be able to beat that team. That's a no-brainer, and that's why you should only get 5 points. When you include account recoveries, that's a hard thing because they may roll in there with some terrible MMR, but they're popping off at a 2.0 or 3.0. And, you know, the game initially will think you should beat that person, and you don't. Because that's not the same person, and therefore you lose a lot of you lose a lot of rank. Dynamic skill ranges. Okay, this is interesting. Finally, we have a quick update on a feature we discussed in a TWAB a while back. Dynamic skill ranges. This is a feature designed to equalize matchmaking pools during low population times or in low population skill brackets. We built this feature back in season 19, but there are some issues preventing us from turning it on and getting good data. We finally found a window to turn it on at the start of Iron Banner a few weeks ago, and promptly broke all matchmaking. So we immediately turned it back off. We're fixing the bugs we found and are doing another round of intense testing on it, but are hoping to redeploy it in a future season. That's all for now. Stay tuned in the coming weeks. We have some exciting reveals coming before season 22. All right, so that's off. Dynamic skill ranges. So let's go back to this TWAB. All right, so dynamic skill ranges. Okay, this was a TWAB back in November. Wow. Anyways, it says improving connection at the high end. Over the last season, we've been monitoring and adjusting loose skill-based matchmaking settings that are applied to quick play. While we're seeing better matches for many players, we're also been seeing issues with player connections when getting into higher skill bands. To address this, we are planning to roll out a second new matchmaking feature. Yes, our programmers and tech designers have been busy, called dynamic skill ranges. At a high level, this feature increases the skill window our system looks for when matchmaking if you're in a low population skill bracket or during a particularly low population time. So for example, 2:30 a.m. in Pacific, when many are sleeping and just waking up. The intention here is to increase the window enough to give those playing at lower population times additional good connections to choose from without harming the skill balance significantly. Okay, so back to the point here. Obviously, activating this, or what they're saying here, activating this in the last Iron Banner broke something. Essentially, you have your skill bracket. Bungie says these are the players you're supposed to play within your skill-based metric. Skill bracket. Okay, if there are not enough players, it will kick past those parameters, whether higher or lower. It will find people because it's trying to just find you a group of players to play against. That has caused problems. What this is really telling you is that if you are still playing high skill players and the connections have been off, if you've been having a laggy experience, this is probably why. Or if queue times have been extremely long. Witherhoard, it's time to share the winner of the community voted ornament for Witherhoard. How we feel about this? We like this? It kind of gives me Gambit vibes. Also, big shout out to 9 Rivers for doing such an incredible job on all of these concepts. Make sure you follow her over on her Twitter. Check out the rest of the work for an added treat. Tune in on Friday for a special edition community focus with the artist herself. Very nice. All right, Hadoplegic tribute. If you're one of the Guardians running around with your wicked implement glued to your side, we have some information for you regarding the catalyst. When designing catalysts, our teams aren't there to create something you need to get, but something to entice you to let your weapon achieve its full potential. So with that, here's some more information from the weapons team themselves. The main thing we wanted to facilitate is getting you into the rhythm with your precision hits. Refilling the magazine when collecting a shard accomplishes that, letting you continue aiming down sights to chain precision damage, but adding mag overflow with the catalyst lets you extend that even further, especially when picking off red bars in between damaging stronger targets and collecting the shards when they return to you. Being able to potentially slow targets with a primary weapon in the PvP neutral game is already kind of spicy, which is why we tuned the perk so a single target would either be dead or close to it by the time you start slowing them. If you switch targets when outnumbered, however, the perk works with any stasis shard though. So if you're running a stasis subclass, you really have to reload. So yeah, what they're talking about, like if you're hitting multiple targets, you can apply that so much easier. We also heard feedback on the base weapon and have a few buffs on the way. Among other things, we're cautious with the timing window for creeping attrition, but we're looking at adjusting that in the future. Keep an eye out for that. All right. We said it the other day. We have done 3 reviews on this exotic scout rifle. And look, I'm just going to be straight with you guys. Mid. The catalyst mid. You could have been more bold, Bungie. Bungie, I get it. Let me just say this. Bungie is scared of giving us something too hot. Dead Man's Tale scarred Bungie. They do not want another DMT. DMT came out way hot. I enjoyed it, but it came out way hot. But the problem is we are now 3 for 3 on mid weapons for exotic quests. Revision 0, mid. Excalibur, mid. Wicked Implement, also mid. And I know there's somebody right now inside of a Grandmaster like, look at me. I can kill things with this scout rifle from afar. You could also kill those same ads much faster with other weapons. Much faster. Bungie's playing it really safe with all of these exotics that are coming from these quests. And I need them to be more bold. Bungie, be more bold. All right, Solstice starts next week. Next week, we have Solstice coming back. Team up with others, gather those silver leaves, and celebrate with sweet evil Levante. It is a party after all. Is this your first Solstice? Every year we get together and celebrate our achievements, what civilization will become, and how we will get there. After chatting with our favorite grandma, Evil Levante, you will head on over to the EAZ, which is the European Aerial Zone, and fight against waves of enemies to earn rewards and silver leaves. There's more to it, but that's the TLDR. Get ready to get out there, Guardians. Before the event starts, we want to give you a quick refresher on the basics of how armor upgrading works in Solstice and tell you a bit about some upcoming changes to Solstice and some new buffs we created. Last year, we streamlined the armor upgrade process for all classes. This year, we worked on the enemy density and overall difficulty of the Bonfire Bash. You will find out that you must work a little harder to light the bonfire. Also, we are implementing 2 new buffs to mix it up even further. So Firebound. This buff is only available in Bonfire Bash. When close to a fireteam member, you gain increased recovery and super regeneration. Interesting. And then Flare. This buff is available in Bonfire Bash and Vanguard Ops playlist, rapidly defeating combatants to unleash waves of paracalls of fire around you, dealing damage to nearby combatants. Interesting. By the way, that's interesting right here, that being close to a fireteam member, because in the EAZ, I don't know about you guys, everyone just split up immediately. So the fact that you want to prioritize being close to a fireteam member is going to be interesting. And it has to be something substantial on the super regeneration front. Now, during Solstice, you could chase down a desired role on your armor. Looking for that 100 discipline for the best grenade builds, or are you in the need for some more recovery to have better survivability in Crucible? If you've ever wanted to fine-tune, Solstice is your time to shine. Upgrading your Solstice armor requires finding and spinning silver leaves, silver ash, and kindling. Here's how to get them. Silver leaves. Earn silver leaves by completing activities throughout the game. Silver ash. Transform silver leaves into silver ash by completing the Bonfire Bash activity. Spin silver ash to reroll armor stats from the armor mod screen. And then kindling. Earn kindling by completing Solstice event challenges. Spend kindling to upgrade your armor stat roll potential. Each piece of armor can be upgraded 3 times for 3 tiers. All right, so essentially what we were doing last year, right? Remember, you only need to do this once per armor slots. Every time you upgrade a piece of Solstice armor, it is permanent and shared across all Solstice pieces for that armor slot. So if you've upgraded a helmet all the way to tier 3, every Solstice helmet currently in your inventory and any future helmets you earn for that class can now access tier 3 stat rerolls. The new Solstice armor sets feature both free and paid glows like in previous years. And just like last year, fully upgrading a piece of armor with kindling will cause it to glow. And without further ado, here is the new Solstice armor. All right. Look at that. Got the strand. It doesn't look as glowy. This is much less glowy, huh? The armor itself looks cool. I just mean it's a lot less glowy. If I remember correctly, isn't the white glow the free glow? And the color, the subclass glows are the paid glows, right? Yes. Okay. So this is the paid glows. Look, I've already stated how I feel about event cards, just events in general inside of Destiny. It is double dipping at its finest. Oh, and here's a little preview of the first ever strand rocket launcher that will be earnable during Solstice. What? Oh my God. All right. And again, I know everybody's like, Cross, how is it double dipping? It's just cosmetics. Look, the drip game for some is everything. All right. All right, fishing tournament results. We sent you out with the task of catching fish, and we're pretty sure you caught all of them. We're excited to announce the results of the Bungie Day Fishing Tournament. Our top fisher overall was Arla Duke with a top score of 660 points. Special shout out to Mafia, who not only won the Delta Derby, but also caught the most exotic fish overall with 10. There are also 11 players who can tell big fish stories now that they've caught the maximum size fishies at a chunky 80 kilograms. Here are the full results. Oh, looky there, guys. Looky there. Nice! I wish I had the patience for it. Outside of that, emblem ownership reminder, some other known issues too. Starting with the launch of Season Deep, emblem ownership values were updated. For security purpose, players who have emblems on their account that do not appear in the collections flare emblem general will no longer be able to equip these emblems, and players will no longer be able to see these emblems if they are still equipped. Those who are affected by this change will need to reacquire these emblems through proper means by unlocking them in their Bungie.net profiles or on their platform if they wish to continue using them. Okay. Additionally, pre-order and collector's edition specific emblems will be restricted to use on the platform that owns those licenses. If you acquired one of these emblems on one platform, but now playing on another platform, you must play on the original platform to use these emblems. That's unfortunate. That's really surprising. Why can't it be transferred? That seems like such a weird thing that would be locked in to a single platform. Okay. Known issues. All right. Due to an issue, we temporarily disabled the utility kickstart mod. Y'all know why. People were doing cheesy stuff with it and getting their super back. I think other things back very, very quickly. The Child of the Old Gods aspect is no longer providing ability, energy, or health as expected. Defeating unstoppable champions too quickly during the intro to the Siam's Battleground Moon Nightfall can result in missing revive tokens, as well as players earning a lower than expected reward tier. Yeah, so it's essentially when you move up too fast. If y'all remember the cheese, we were not getting platinum. So you're missing out the revive token, and we would get gold, which is why you have to wait for the status to update. It's so annoying too. That Nightfall in general is annoying. To combine that with that bug is even more annoying. Ultra reflection memories may not appear centered when viewed. Some players are unable to acquire new Trials of Osiris rewards. And as a final note here, all right, Guardians, that's it for this week's TWID. Well, almost. Two more things. One, we want to remind you that this is the last week Hung Jury is in rotation in the Nightfall. Dead Orbit sure didn't know what they were doing when they made this weapon, so make sure you go snag one. I will say this, guys, and I probably should have put out an alert on this. Hung Jury with box breathing is a phenomenal weapon inside of PvP. And Hung Jury inside of PvE is also a really good weapon, but this is a phenomenal one to have. We were talking about 3 tapping 180s. You're talking a 0.67 time to kill value. Highly advised picking this up, okay? And second, it's getting closer. The Destiny 2 showcase will be here before you know it. Be sure to tune in to our Twitch or YouTube channel on August 22nd at 9 a.m. Pacific. We too will be streaming it. Okay, now that is all for this week. We're 5 Tuesdays away from Season 22. So plenty of time to wrap up any titles, triumphs, or shenanigans you want to finish before the next season. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and we'll see you next week, pals. Stay crafty, Sam. All right, kinetic trimmers is good. Yeah, you can get kinetic trimmers on Hung Jury as well. Yeah, that would be my PvE load. I mean, for PvP, box breathing all the way. And we can actually go, let's just go look at Hung Jury real quick. These are the roles you can get on the current Hung Jury. I do suggest getting like a kinetic trimmer role, guys, for my PvE players. And you can do like kinetic trimmers, rapid hit. Shoot to loot is also good now. I mean, for a variety of things, shooting an orb picks it up. Shooting ammo brick picks it up. That combination of kinetic trimmers is pretty good. Also, Gutshot Straight is getting a buff. We have a video coming out soon going over Gutshot Straight. All the weapons that benefit from Gutshot Straight, the amount of forgiveness that it offers, and it's getting a buff next week. Again, alongside Solstice, you're also going to be seeing our mid-season preview go out. But I do think that box breathing is your best option. If you're looking to get the 3 tap with extra forgiveness at 0.67 seconds, box breathing all day long. And you can either do box breathing surplus or box breathing rapid hit, whichever one you want. You've got Amalon Fluid Dynamics for PvP, which is really good as it ups the stability at the top half of your mag. So this is exactly why I was like, Wicked Implement has very stiff competition, especially for PvP. Yes, it can slow, but box breathing can kill you so damn fast. And even though you can 3-tap Wicked Implement, you can't do it at the same level of forgiveness or the same resilience values that Hung Jury is able to achieve, which is why, and then on top of that, Hung Jury just feels better. But last week to get it, guys, I think the Corrupted Nightfall is the Nightfall for this week. We probably need to do some more runs of that. We'll do some runs this weekend for sure.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.